Alright, hey guys, this is today's gear. Dogwood, Briar Brushworks handle, and a B13 knot from Declaration Grooming, which I've had soaking while I was showering, and that's really funny because I almost never do that. I usually shower after I shave, and so I'm definitely got a hydrated, clean face this time. Yellow Light, Fake Yellow Light from Declaration Grooming. It's a new scent for 2021, and the description sounded really good. Scott said it was one of his favorites. I'm going to be putting a Bolzano with 15 or so uses on it in the Timeless Bronze 38 gap solid bar. Let's go ahead and get that in while my hands are all dry, because I'm going to do my usual thing when loading a sample and scoop it out and then press it in the bottom of the bowl. Now the Bolzano is one that didn't pull at me. Metaphorically speaking, it wasn't attractive to me when I first was trying it out. A little like rough and tuggy, that kind of thing. But then I've just seen some friends get a lot of uses out of them and say it's one of their favorites. And so a little bit of curiosity welled up in me, and I thought, what if it's one of those that's kind of rough in the first 5-10 uses, but something about it smooths out, and then for quite a long time it's a nice blade. It's definitely kind of in a different category. It just feels different than a lot of other blades that I've used. And so I decided to give it a chance, and so that's why I've got 15 uses on this one. We're going to keep going, and we're going to see how it works with the Timeless Bronze. So this is a Fake Yellow Light sample from Maggard Razors, and they come in these little sizes here, and 5 uses, roughly is about what maybe you can get, maybe a little bit more. And I like to do that and conserve it by using a scoop here, and therefore I don't usually end up using too much soap, and then I can get the most uses out of my sample. A little over 1/4 teaspoon here for Milksteak, because that is his current base, and it's usually pretty soft, and it's easier to spread in the bottom of the bowl when I've got a dry finger. But honestly, it's so soft you don't have to really, it's really kind of a cream, this one, and so you can just kind of get it down in there about any way you want to, and it doesn't really matter if big chunks are laying around, because they are so soft that they'll get absorbed. And this is the Roger Quintero 3D printed lather bowl that I've used so much, and honestly, you just can't tell that it's had much use. I've used it for a couple of years now straight. I mean, really. Oh, you can tell the tobacco, and it's not a bloomy tobacco. It's more of a dry, the kind of tobacco I like. Touch of sweetness. I mean, it's not bitter, but it's not, I mean, I wouldn't say it's sweet. Warmth coming off here. Let's see what else steps out of the scent profile as we use it, as we get it into a lather. Could be some different things once we do that. All right, so that's pushed all the way in, and we will get my face wet, and actually I'll probably, let's go ahead and splash it, because just to kind of keep that hydration. 2 days of growth, I think, maybe more, on today's face, and I'm going to tilt you down so that we can work on the bowl and the lather. Shake out a lot of the water. This 28mm brush does hold a good bit of water. Now I'm going to treat my Smoke Owners Club. I've done about 3 treatments now of the hair dryer, and so we'll plan on doing that after today's shave as well. We're trying to see if that accelerates the tips splitting. Oh, that window right there may be kind of messing with my contrast. Might be easier to see stuff if I make that less of the picture. Looking very good. I poured a good bit of water in it right away, as you saw. And with mini soaps, that's a quick way to your lather, because they can handle a bunch of water right away. Sure looks like Milksteak's not having a problem with it. Yeah, look at that, plenty of lather. I don't want to fuss with it too much today. A little bit of a hurry, not too bad. So let us put in just a little, how much have we got in there? Yeah, see, look, we've only got 11, 12 milliliters of water in there yet. So let's go a little bit more. Now, if you have a big brush, and this is a 28, so it's, you know, fairly on the large size, and you're a face latherer, then you often have to use more soap, because you kind of keep concentrating your brush, and usually is what guys do, and so they need that to last till the end of the shave, and they don't. But when you do it like I do here, you're getting a consistent mixture throughout your brush and the bowl, and so then it doesn't matter what size your brush is, because it's holding, it may hold more lather, but it doesn't hold concentrated lather. And as you can see, look, we obviously now have no problem with quantity. The water that we added there, just plenty of lather here. Maybe that was exactly the right amount that kind of caused the lather to noticeably explode, is a word that sometimes we like to throw around in quantity. All right, so face wet one last time. One last time before we lather up, that is. All right. Maybe 2.5 days of growth. So the Bolzano is going to be charged with quite a task today. The Timeless Bronze is, to me, a medium razor, and so it's easily up to the task of taking down any number of days of growth. And you can see we've just got some fluffy goodness all over the place. I'm going to get rid of some of that on the side of the bowl there, just so it doesn't fall down on my shirt and get wasted. And it felt really good at first, but now that I'm working it, feels like it needs just a little bit more water. Now, Milksteak has been around for a couple of years, I think, and you know, Barrister and Man has brought out Omnibus in recent months, and haven't heard anything new from Scott, but a lot of people really enjoy Milksteak, and so I don't really think Scott, you know, has an empty spot that he needs to try to fill. His base is already kind of competitive in today's market. You know, a lot of the guys like Barrister and Man are really going for lathers that are have a lot of moisturization and protection. I'm sorry, skin protection in terms of after the shave. And so who knows how long it will be before Declaration Grooming changes their formula. Many soap bases these days really don't need to change a thing because they're already terrific, you know, and so we're arguing about minutia these days. All right. So what's the smell? Has it changed? Let's see. Well, I don't know if I've become nose blind to it already. And this has happened with some Declaration Grooming soaps that are, I do enjoy the scent, but in the sample form, they just don't have a lot of strength to them. I think I'm liking it, but honestly, it's so faint that it's really hard to pull any details out. So I'm really glad that I was able to get kind of the roasty tobacco earlier. It seems like there's some other notes in it, but I guess with this scent, I would have to depend on the splash to deliver any good knowledge about what the soap really smells like, what the scent really smells like. All right, Timeless Bronze with a Bolzano blade. On a good number of days of growth. And so sometimes you'll get a good combo of blade and razor that just breezes through, and sometimes they don't, and they tug a little bit. This one's doing a small amount of tugging, but really, considering the number of days I have on my face, that doesn't seem to be. Now that's interesting. Usually this side of my face over here is a smoother shave, but it's more tuggy, a lot more tuggy. I don't know that I've had that side be that different. Maybe it's that side of the razor. Maybe this one side of the blade is different than the other. This razor usually, you don't have to worry about alignment. Usually the blades are just in perfect alignment. They look like it here. Yeah, getting nice and pleasant in terms of the scent. Definitely one I'd enjoy using every day, and it's so faint you're not going to get it. You're not going to get used to it. You're not going to get overwhelmed by it. Water splash now. Sometimes when you go for the rinse and you feel your face, you feel the stubble that is still left after that first pass, like I just did. It tells you what happened. And this side of my face that was so comfy, it's got a lot more stubble than this side over here. So the side that was feeling the aggression was feeling it because the razor was doing more work. Now, in a sense, I don't really care. I just as soon be comfy, and so I don't mind if it divides up the work and lets the second pass do more work. I don't care about that. That's fine. Obviously, a two-pass shaver is going to hope that the first pass does, 95% of the work. And the second pass is just touch-ups. Now this is very comfortable. And right here I can see how, this is a comfy blade and razor combo. So I can see how somebody would really enjoy the Bolzano blades. I do feel a little tenderness. I think that first pass kind of gave me a little bit of razor burn in a few spots. All right, rinse. So this lather is a little drier than I might normally like, that's not too bad because I can just leave some excess water on my face after the rinse. You can see from the window there how shiny it is. Continuing to love this brush. Easy splay, big, kind of bear hug kind of brush. The tips are nice and soft in this B13 batch. A little bit of gel, but not a lot, and so just enough to be soft, but not enough to feel like just slopping yourself with a bunch of sponges. I definitely had that feel with a few jelly type brushes, and then now I think this will just really be an easy cleanup pass. I am in so dire need of a haircut. It's crazy. But the same, life busyness that causes me to skip shaving days on holiday trips like this also causes me to not give myself a haircut. I need to get my rear in gear and get it done anyway. And there we go. 3 passes. We can take some remnant shaving soap and hit that tricky area. Carefully though, I can still get irritation if I do it too much against the grain. But yeah, finished off. Nice shave. Now this Milksteak here wants to leave a little bit of residue on my skin. And so after several rinses, I'm going to assume that what's left on my skin is not soap that needs to go, but moisturizers that need to stay. All right. Now, for that, it was 16 milliliters of water. So yeah, usually I do use just a touch more. That little bit more than a 1/4 teaspoon was plenty. We've got about 3 passes left here in the bowl. So a little bit less than an even 1/4 teaspoon, should be just about perfect. Lots of lather left. It's a good looking lather. It's the reason why Declaration Grooming is so often mentioned when you talk about top tier soaps. Now I'm going to try something for the second time. This is facial toner with witch hazel from Thayer's, and it's the lavender variety. I was talking, I believe it was with Warren, and he had the rose. He tried it. It was much too floral, kind of too feminine. He just had to give it away. And he was curious about the lavender. And I left him a message that said, to me, the lavender did not, leave behind too much scent. It didn't get in the way. It didn't seem too femininely at all. It was, just seems to be a good accent to just about any shave. It's mostly aloe solution, and there's a little bit of witch hazel in there too with the Thayer's. Now the Dickinson's, I believe, is pure witch hazel, but it's got that witch hazel stink to it, so this is much more pleasant. The aloe also does a great job of conditioning, nourishing your skin. All right, so yeah, the scent of the lavender, very, very mild, like a 1 out of 10, if that. So it's gonna blend with any soap that you use or any post-shave product, honestly. Man, this is one that I wish more came out during the shave. It was just so faint. Man, I wish, I guess I could, for these types of scents, I guess I could either just order the splash, about like a sample of the splash to get an idea of the real nature of the scent. And I guess since the soap might be too faint, if I wanted to enjoy the scent as a part of my routine, it would be either through the splash or the EDP, whichever he offers. And so that would be interesting. And I think that's kind of typical of a lot of Declaration Grooming scents, just not really strong on the soap aspect. the good news is there are people who like that. There are people who are impacted by too many fragrance oils, and so they prefer to have a mild soap. But I are not one of those. All right, so 16th or 17th use on the Bolzano blade, and still cutting very well. I'm really happy with the closeness here that I got, and the Timeless was a great holder of this and user of this blade. Of course, the first pass was tuggy, so I'd be interested to see if the first pass is the same. So now I've got the Derby, is a recent blade that I've used with the Wolfman 46, and then the Bolzano here with this Timeless that I need to try. I'm curious about trying both of those with 24-hour growth instead of something longer, to see if that makes them nice blades, because they do end very well after that first pass. So maybe I'll put those on a little list and try to get to that. And this is what this nice brush looks like. Oh hey, I usually am in kind of a dark environment that doesn't brag on this handle, this hybrid handle from Dogwood. This part was made by Briar Brushworks and then integrated. Everything was finished off, and this part was done by Stephen at Dogwood Handcrafts. Big old bloom here. Really enjoying this brush lately. Now the good thing about this Witch Hazel toner, and sometimes you can get lucky and get these on site somewhere at a beauty store. The biggest one in my area is where I was able to choose from different flavors of this particular size, and it's a great size just to try stuff out. It's also a good size for travel. It's 3 ounces. Yeah, 3 ounces. There's the big one, of course. Some of them are available on Amazon as well, but then at the I like to support the local businesses as often as I can. And this can be your final ingredient for the day. You don't have to put on a balm. At least I find I don't need to after this if I don't want to. And so if I want to, if something of the soap is continuing through and giving you some fragrance, then you may want to keep enjoying that and not put on anything separately. I'm going to go ahead and put on some Mountain Man by Stirling. It's a little kind of zesty than the Fake Yellow Light, and so I think it's kind of in a different family. But it's nice, I like it. Be interesting to see if anything different steps out of this Mountain Man fragrance. It's a clone of Creed Silver Mountain Water. Very popular men's cologne. And sometimes if you, I showered with Barrister and Man, full measure of Man, very heavy tobacco, sweet type scent. And then I stepped into the tobacco kind of soap of the Fake Yellow Light and some other notes to it as well. If you're curious about the other notes in the soap, you can look in the description of the video, and I'll have those from Declaration's site. And then you follow it up with this kind of scent, and often because of what you smelled before, it can change what you smell now. So something it could definitely bring out of this silver. Yeah, the kind of more ozone aquatic notes are really coming out now, and that's never happened before. There's other parts to it that I usually feel more strongly than that. So the fun of the scent journey. So after checking the water, we're looking at about 15 milliliters of water used during the shave, and yeah, a little bit more than a quarter teaspoon of soap. And that was a little excessive lather, 1 or 2 more passes than I might normally like left over at the end, but it's okay. This soap is relatively cheap. And there we go. I think that's it for today. Smelling good. Take care now. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I hope that there's something in this video to help you out. Take care.